I was in love with a man that convinced me to co-sign.
I know it's late at night, folks, but I can't get over the T of co-signing, and we're co-signing for love.
On a 2019 Jetta in the fall of 2021. I'm not in that relationship anymore.
Of course you're not. And I am willing to bet if you had, oh heck, 10 honest friends and said to them, I'd like to co-sign for love, should I do it? If 9 out of 10 of them are to speak the truth, no, you should not do it. Are we surprised, people? Are we surprised? Somebody gets what they want after you have co-signed, and then they decide they don't need you anymore.
But anyway, last summer I convinced him to turn the vehicle back into the dealer, basically voluntarily repossess it. He could not pay the payment on time.
Again, are we surprised? If somebody is asking you to co-sign, it's because the bank that has billions more than you do, even with all their billions, the bank said, nah, I'll pass. See, that's what you got to remember. If the bank that has billions of dollars that can afford to lose it, they can afford to lose we don't even know how much you co-signed for. Oh gosh, please let it be a single digit and not a double digit number. But if the bank that has all that money says they're not going to risk it on you, then you probably shouldn't risk it yourself on others. Okay. Bottom line is, if you need a co-signer, you can't pay the bill. You either have a track record, you cannot pay the bill. There's a track history somewhere, or they look at your current, debt to income. They look at your lack of job stability. Yeah.
And I was also helping him, and he made more than me.
Well, that's embarrassing. So he makes more than her, and she's co-signing for him. Kind of like that story we did it was like, I don't know, 75 videos ago. And I'm not kidding. I think we've done almost 100 reactions by this point. I know. It's hard to believe. Time flies fast. What was it? I think he made less. She made more. No, it was actually reversed. Excuse me. I apologize. He made less. She made almost like twice as much, and she couldn't pay her bills.
But anyway, so Volkswagen hasn't sold the vehicle yet at auction, but when it's sold, of course, me and him are going to be on the hook for whatever is left on the loan.
Ultimately, she will be on the hook because she is the co-signer. Well, technically, they're both still legally responsible. So in that case, yeah, it would be both of them, because the bank will just chase after both of them, and then whoever pays it, and they'll have to go sue the other party. And I don't think that'll happen. How much is this for? I understand that we can be naive. Okay, Lord knows I've got my reputation for it, but damn, in this day and age, with all the social media out there, I mean, at least when I went bankrupt, it was in the 80s, and, the internet wasn't invented, so to speak, until AOL came along, and I was like 26, 27 years old. But to co-sign like now, like you wouldn't be able to look up, dangers of co-signing. But like she said, she did it for love.
Mm-hmm. So I want to know if there's anything I can do. He does have a settlement for a Harley that he got in an accident and wasn't his fault, and he's going to get compensated for that. I was also a co-signer on the Harley.
Jesus, lady! Wake up and see the tea bag. Some people just have kick me signs everywhere they go. Kick me, kick me, kick me. I don't like to say she's not intelligent, because somebody could look at me and say, well, you've been bankrupt a few times. I kind of lack some brain cells there too. 'Tis true. But again, as I say, today we have the internet in ways that we don't have it for information. Okay? AOL wasn't even invented when I was in my early 20s. Well, it was probably invented. It just hadn't, worked its way across the country to people yet, because, of course, it was all on dial-up. But sometimes I just have to go, do you really not know? Again, especially in today's day and age, where social media has a plethora of places, plethora of information you can gather. When I decided to lease a car, okay, I wasn't leasing a car in 1980 when I had no idea how leases work. I was able to go on the internet, and I researched almost for about a week before I decided that leasing a car would be right for me. And it's been proven to be very, very, it was the right decision for me, okay? But I used the tools of today to get that information, because I learned, from my past. But sometimes I just have to go, today, when you get suckered so easily, it's just a thought.
I was stupid. But that bike has been paid off. He's just waiting for the settlement. I'm wondering, can I put a lien on a settlement?
She's going to have to, I'm assuming she's going to have to take him to court first, get a judgment against him. Okay? That's about as far as I would know. I don't think just because you co-sign on something and they don't pay you back for it, I would think you'd have to go to court and get a settlement. I mean, I could co-sign for somebody and they could come into money through something else. It does not, I would assume, give me direct access to it. I would have to get a court order first. That's just what I'm thinking. I'm no attorney, so let's find out.
Or what can I do? I have text messages from him saying that he will pay off the Jetta, but I don't trust that that's going to happen.
No, you don't say. Now, I'm not being mean to this lady, okay? Please know that. But there does come a point, she signed the Harley. Then she goes and she signs a Jetta. Okay? And it just seems to me that, I don't know, maybe just a few brain cells short. Then again, I've been short some major rocks and boulders.
It sounds like that's a correct assessment to me. Where was that girl?
Yeah.
Oh, Mary, I'm so sorry.
Ladies, when a guy wants you to co-sign, say no. Say, I love you. And as this is what Dave would say. This is what Dave Ramsey would say. He would say, and you've heard him say this, I love you enough not to help you get into debt. And then, John, I think it's Delaney. Okay, John, and then John would say, are you safe? That's how that would work.
What a horrible mess.
But let us hold the tea bag, people, a little closer. Who is responsible for that mess? Who is responsible? And only when we take accountability for our bad decisions can we start to make better decisions. Until we take accountability and we accept, we go, yeah, that was dumb. That was stupid. Okay? Love. The things we do for love. The things we do for love. There's just that song that goes like that. Only when we take accountability. I think the reason some of us find perhaps co-signing to be a little bit more foolish than maybe other forms of debt is it just seems so obvious. I mean, the answer is right there. You're co-signing because they can't pay the bill. That's just the bottom line. It's almost like the answer is kind of right in front of you. Now, I want to hold off on those rare news reports, okay? And we have seen them. Someone had to co-sign for someone because the bank proved to be racist and they wouldn't co-sign for a black person, even though the black person could pay for it. And then the bank got sued, lost, yada, yada. Okay, so let's put that aside because, someone's probably going to be thinking of that. Well, there are those cases. We ain't talking about that. We are talking about the 99.9% of co-signing. And I think the reason we find people, like I said, I think the reason we might be a little less forgiving towards people who co-sign is the reason they needed a co-signer is they did not have the funds to pay the bill. The reason they needed a co-signer is they don't have a steady enough work history. They don't make enough money. They've proven to be too inconsistent. So if there's any red flag anywhere in the world of finance, it's in co-signing.
Yeah, well,
what a sad way to learn a
credit-
horrible lesson, too, isn't it?
And one that she must embrace as I got suckered. You got suckered, you got scammed, you got taken for a ride. Okay? You allowed your heart to do, to do what your brain should have done. This guy wasn't ever in love with her. The minute somebody says to you cosign, I think that's the point you can say that love is out the window. And guys, the same thing goes for you. Please don't let a beautiful woman, oh, she's the woman of my dreams. I'm going to co-sign for her a car. Better yet, I think I'll just let her have a car and buy it for her. And then, she'll leave me after 6 months, if not sooner. If they can't make the bills on their own, the bank will not help them fund it. And neither should you. And that goes for tit for tat, both ways.
Yeah.
How old are
absolutely.
you?
I'm 60, and he was 43. So.
Oh my God. Oh, I gotta be quiet. The neighbors are asleep. Oh, good Lord. Oh my God. I was thinking this is like sweet Jesus. I gotta go to bed earlier. Sweet Jesus. 60 and 43. You know that show Catfish? Okay. This was Catfish. He was never interested in her. Oh, jeez. This poor lady. Now I got to be extra nice to her. I gotta move my camera here. So sometimes I start sliding to the side and I get to the side of the screen. Oh, this poor lady. Oh, okay, here's what I bet happened. This was 100% a catfish. He probably sent her pictures, and she probably was never. He was a scammer. He sent her, messages of love and I want to be with you. Okay. Wow, that was really surprising. 60 and 43. Now, not that you can't be nearly 20 years apart, but let's be really honest here. To keep us out of scams, there aren't a lot of 40-something guys interested in 60-year-old women. And I say that with sensitivity because I am 4 years from 60 myself. Okay. But I will tell you this. If some 40-year-old guy came up to me, okay, let's say I'm 56, so he'd have to be about 20 years apart, 36. Okay. And was just like, oh, Carrie, I'm just so in love with you. Yada, yada, yada. I'd be like, sure, okay. And then he goes, and could you please sign me up for a Harley? I'd be like, yeah, okay. And would you please get me the Jet? I told you it's late. The Jetta or whatever it is that the second vehicle is, okay? The minute they start asking you for crap, all right, consumer stuff, you know it's not real. And actually, just that age split in general, I'm not saying not always, so let's reserve, you know me, I never say never and I never say always, okay? But 99% of the time, all right? I'm sorry. She was a sugar mama. She was a sugar mama to this guy. We did a story just the other day, audience, do you remember? Remember we did a story just about 2 days ago, and the woman makes $200,000, the guy makes $40,000, and she's really concerned about being a sugar mama. Yeah. Well, this lady is definitely a sugar mama. 60 to 43. Oh, I hope she wasn't widowed and this is being spent with her deceased husband's life insurance. Because to me, that would be someone who could potentially get taken for a ride. Okay, she's 63, he's 43. Lonely. This is when getting cats are cheaper. Maybe a little chihuahua.
Oh, okay. I had a little bit of the share complex going on or something there.
The Cher complex.
For those who don't know, that's referring to Cher. She's a singer from the 70s.
You're great.
Yeah.
You're great.
Yeah.
Okay, so how
I
much
mean,
money?
I
How much
am
money do you have?
Oh, God, please say you have something.
How much money do I have?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm on baby step 1. I
Jesus. Oh, sweet. Dear Lord, please help this woman as I sit here and drink my strawberry crush with half and half in it. Please help her find a way to get out of this labyrinth of a mess. I don't think I've ever said a prayer for anybody on a show before, but people, if tonight is not the night for prayer, I don't know what is. She's on baby step 1. She's 63. She's just signed 2 vehicles over for a dude that's 20 years younger that she swears she was in love with. Oh, sweet Jesus. Where is the church when you need them?
I'm just starting out.
You don't have any money.
I don't have any money.
So why did you sign for a guy when you yourself have no money? Oh, Lord. Whoo. Oh. This is too loud. Yeah, I should have gotten that Taco Bell that I wanted earlier. Actually, I didn't want Taco Bell. I wanted Culver's, but now I wish I'd gotten it. Oh, my goodness. 63 baby step 1. God bless her. God bless her. But you know what? I would not want to be in that position. No way.
I have $3,000 in credit card debt that I have.
Sweet. Dear God, I stopped praying too soon. Oh, you know, this is the thing, folks. Okay. I'm not laughing at her as the person. I think you guys know that. What we're laughing at is just, we look at our life situations and we look at the decisions that we've made. And I think in some ways, the reason we laugh, some of the reasons I laugh is it reminds me of the stupid stuff that I've done that I'm sure somebody looked at and went, oh my God, I can't believe Carrie did that. I can't believe, she got a car, was more expensive than her parents. She couldn't afford it. Okay. It was 50% of her income. Yeah. If I was to do a reaction on me, I'd be laughing too. But we laugh because we realize first, we like to think we would never do this. We would never be this dumb. We would never be this taken. Yet many of us in one way or another, it doesn't have to be through, a scammer like this dude. It doesn't have to be a relationship scam. It's doing anything that you realize it's so obvious. It is doing you financial harm. It is so obvious. It's not even hidden. It is so obvious. Get a car that you clearly realize you can't afford, that's taken 30-40% of your income, maybe even 25%. It's too much. It's right in front of you. It's right in front of you. That's the reason or at least that's the reason I chuckle over it, is because I realize, damn, the decisions I did, somebody would have been laughing. Oh my God, I can't believe Carrie just spent $200 the night before payday, and now she's running around like a chicken from bank to bank trying to cash one check and get it deposited before the other one hits the bank. This was life in the 80s. Okay, it wasn't the deposits that we have today. I would have been laughing. I would have been laughing, because when you think a person cannot tank themselves further with bad decisions, you realize they can. 63 years old, no money, broke, and looking for love. Probably met him on the internet from a guy that's 20 years younger, who I can guarantee was seeing other women while he was taking her money. It was never about her. And to us, it just seems like that is so obvious. But when the mind is not in the right place, what is obvious to normal, healthy people, normal, healthy adults, normal, healthy relationships, it isn't obvious to the people that are in the situation. It's why, if we want to talk relationships and finances, okay, let's talk relationships for a minute. It's the same thing with relationships. And I will swear by this. You know, when people break up, people think that they were, able to hide that it was a bad relationship from other people. But you know what my experience is? Most of the people around you already knew it was a bad relationship. They were just waiting for you to figure out it was a bad relationship. Yeah. You think you've got it, we're hiding a bad relationship. More people know than you already know. I remember when I got divorced, okay, and my mom said to me, she was kind of like, it's about time somebody did something. I mean, he left me, but still. And I'm like, well, what do you mean? She goes, it was never a match to begin with. What you begin to find, and I had heard it from more than one person, what you begin to find is the only person you're fooling or trying to fool is yourself. But more people around you know. The people around you know you're getting suckered. The people around you know the relationship's not great. That's just something that I've come to realize. You think it's a well-guarded secret when everybody knows. They're just waiting for you to figure it out. You think, getting taken for a ride like this, you think that, other people, either wouldn't know, right? When if you had actually asked other people and said, hey, do you think this is a good idea? They'd go, no, but I love him. Okay, but healthy, normal minds would say, he's asking you for money. He's 20 years younger. What do you think he's after? I mean, it could be your body, but I doubt it.
Consumer credit
What do you
counseling.
make?
$61,000 a year.
Okay. What was owed on the Jetta, do you know?
$29,000 and change.
Jesus. Oh, God. I really feel for this woman. I can't even be mean to her. I was never trying to be mean to her. But I mean, you just, some people we can go, rah, 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 rah. Okay. Besides that, my students will tell you my bark is, worse than my bite. It is. $29,000. Couldn't just signed off on maybe, a $10,000 car. And that's just a Jetta, folks. She and I make almost identical. I make a little bit more. With my little part-time gig, I make about, in the mid-60s. I make it in the low 60s just on my teacher income.
Okay. All right. All right, let's just make up some numbers for a second, just to give you an example.
She's been making up a lot of stuff, and I assume that's why she's in this situation.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Let's pretend that Jetta, when he turned it in, was worth 20. On the repo lot, let's pretend that it sells for 12.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It might get 15 for it.
That sucks, because that still leaves you 15 grand. Why did she do this to herself? Low self-esteem. That's your answer. Low self-esteem. Low self-esteem accompanies denial, putting on the blindfold. If she told so much as one friend that she was doing this, I hope that friend was good enough to tell her, don't do it. Whether she chose to listen or not, I hope that friend was good enough and honorable and responsible enough to tell her, don't do it. I would tell a friend that in a heartbeat. And I don't care if he's the same age as you. Period. It's the fact that he's asking you to co-sign something. That is my big, where are my contacts? My contacts are getting dry. That would be my big concern. It's the fact that he's asking you to co-sign, regardless of age.
We could say 9. Anyway, so let's say there's a $15,000 deficit when you're done.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And they come to you as the co-signer.
And they will.
And they want $15,000. Well, the first thing you tell them is what you told me. I have no money.
Right.
I don't have any money. I got 3.
Which tells you if the bank cleared her as a co-signer, remember, audience, how we've talked before, just because your credit score is high enough, all right, which means her credit score probably passed, doesn't mean you have money. I can hold a 775 credit score and be broke to the max. It just means I'm good at juggling it.
$3,000 in credit card debt, and I have 0 cash saved, and I don't have any money. That's the first thing you tell them, which is also, by the way, the truth.
She's not going to be able to retire. This is someone who's going to work for forever, but that's another story. We're not going to get into that tonight.
And
Right.
you can tell him where he is and where his Harley account is, and that he is getting a settlement, and that they should get the money from him.
Oh yeah, I would be putting that settlement on blast. That's good, Dave. I had thought of that.
Okay.
And help them get it from him. That's the best thing you can do. If that doesn't work,
Okay.
and you and I are both suspect it won't,
Count me in. It most likely will not work. Count me in.
right? Then the good news is you can usually settle a repossession deficit for somewhere around 10 to 20 cents on the dollar. And so if it's 15,000 owed, $1,500 to $3,000 will settle it.
Or they could just tell you no, which is what caused my second bankruptcy when I tried to settle on a vehicle. Now, this is 20 years ago, so might be different today.
Oh.
Yeah.
It really depends on the luck of draw of who you get. I mean, literally, when I tried to, and it wasn't even my bankruptcies weren't big dollar amounts. Okay, first one was 24 to 26,000. It's been a few years. Okay, and then but I do remember the car was like 14, 16,000. We're not talking my bankruptcies weren't and I went under by $150,000. It wasn't that. Okay, and the reason is for the car is they were like no. And I said, well, I'm just going to file bankrupt. And they said, okay. Like I said, I'd done my stupid. I would be laughing at myself today if I had to listen to myself on a telephone call discussing the stupid crap I'd done.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
but if you get to that point, that means you're going to have gotten out of debt. You're going to have built up a little bit of an emergency fund of $5,000 or $10,000 or something before they get around to bothering you with this.
I know I said I wouldn't talk about retirement, but 63. 63 is 4, okay, 4 years supposedly. If she's not already she works. This is how you retire in debt. We can add this to the list, people. Get scammed by people who want you to cosign. Cosign for scammers when you yourself don't have any money to get out of it. What have I said? And I've been very consistent with this. If you are going to cosign, you need to be able to write a check. Period. Okay? I co-signed on the iPhone. You can't pay for the $1,000 iPhone. There you go. Blink. Phone is paid. Don't ever ask me for money again. If you can't do that, don't co-sign. I don't think you should co-sign in general. Period. I don't do it. If you can't pay off that medical bill for a friend that needs medical care, and believe me, I have thought about stuff like this. Okay? Someone says to you, "Oh, I need you to co-sign, a loan for me so I can get medical treatment." But you know that co-signing that could possibly have you lose the roof over your head, have you lose your retirement. Do you see? So, and I have really thought about that. Okay? So when I say don't co-sign at any cost, trust me, I've thought about it. But here's how I've concluded. You know what? I wouldn't want anyone to go broke over helping me in that area anyways. Last thing I would ever want to do is take from my family to co-sign on loans so I can get just astronomically expensive medical treatment. What am I going to have them do? Lose their house, lose their car, lose their retirement? Oh, hell no. When God calls me home, it'll be time for God to call me home. So when I say don't co-sign, don't do it. You are no good if you drown along with them.
And then when they call and bother you, you say, okay, you go after him. And they say, well, we tried. And you say, well, you ought to try again because I got no money. And then they come back at you again. Then you say, hey, just want to settle my part. I don't want to settle his part.
They will not go for that. They will. I hope she's not getting all excited about this. Remember, this was just 4 days ago. They will not go for that. Oh, if you look down here now, I put it up here how many days ago it is, and the title also, just to kind of assist you.
So you can
Right.
still go after him for more if you want, but I'll give you $1,500 for my part.
Here's the sad part. She's the one more likely to pay. I think they know that too. It is my belief that they're going to go harder after the cosigner because the cosigner is more likely, just by the way the cards landed, okay, the cosigner is most likely more responsible for money. Hence why they are the cosigner. So if I'm a debt collector, am I going to go after Jim Bob here that's, out 2 cars? Or am I going to go after the woman who co-signed him that has shown at least some level of responsibility? That's why she qualified to be a co-signer. I'm going to go after her. And I don't think she should get her hopes up that they're going to take pennies on the dollar, especially with the car market the way it is now, which is horrible.
And start working with them. And you'll have to jostle back and forth with them and argue with them some, but you probably will get it for $1,500 or $2,000, $3,000, and then let him leave his part there. Don't settle the whole debt. Say, I want the portion, but I need in writing from you that the portion of my name is settled in full.
They have to. They need to print that on the check, because I wouldn't trust a creditor any further. I wouldn't trust a creditor any further than I could throw the guy that she signed these loans off with.
That I owe nothing. That I owe nothing else, and you can go after him for whatever you want.
They're not going to do that. If I was a betting person, I'd say nah, because debt collectors don't care. They do not care. And I think I look at it very much just like the student loan. Yes, it's a Parent Plus loan. They're gonna go after the person who most likely, if they don't have the assets, the one most likely to pay. She's most likely to pay. But I would, just like he said earlier, I would, without a doubt, I would be, what is it? Singing all over about the settlement that he's got coming.
Right. Perfect. Okay. That's a lot better than I thought.
Yeah.
It's the opportunity for it to be better, but I wouldn't bank on it until you actually see it.
You're in better shape. It's not going to kill you here, but you do have to go ahead and get the rest of your money straightened up.
Yeah, and then you just have the $3,000 in credit card debt. Is there anything else?
I own a house with my ex-husband, and we both.
Boy, this woman's a piece of work. Oh, God bless her. God bless her heart.
Both pay half of the mortgage on it, and it's probably worth about $800,000 here in Seattle, but we owe like $170,000.
Who lives in it?
Myself, my 2 sons, and there's a mother-in-law apartment, so the ex lives there too. But we're not together or anything. We just.
This is a messed up situation. The whole thing's messed up. I hope she has retirement. I sure hope she has retirement. And could they really afford this $800,000 home? I understand Seattle and property values have gone up drastically. Okay.
Yeah. We get along. It works for us. And
it's just other areas that aren't working so well. I don't even know if they can afford to break up if they want to. I mean, I guess they're quasi broken up. I don't know if they could afford to live in different places if they want to. She's proven at 63, and I think that's the other part is why this is so surprising. She's 63. You'd think she'd been around the block a few times to know better than all of this. Not shaming her. Not shaming her. Just saying, if somebody said to me they were, 33, I'll even take early 40s. Okay, you got taken. 63?
That was my choice many years ago when we divorced, so.
Wow. Okay. All right. Well, then, you've got that asset. You don't want them attaching that asset, so you do want to settle this.
Right.
Oh, and if they can't, they'll just attach the asset, and that'll be a piece of cake. As a matter of fact, she's got a big enough asset that they may not even want to settle. Plain does, Why settle? I know you're a cosigner. You're sitting on an $800,000 home. Guess what? I got all the time in the world. I mean, you are 63 after all. Okay? They'll just sit on it. Like I said, I think in some ways that's even less incentive to take less on it. Unless, of course, they're just wanting their money fast. They don't want to wait, 10, 15 years, whatever. They don't want to wait until the estate comes through.
So you do need to get the rest of your stuff under control so you got a little cash built up, war chest before the war comes.